absence of son, I think is excused. Comments or correspondence? Public appearances or hearings? I hear none. Reading and approval of minutes. We got 113 and also there's 121 in the packet.
I need to abstain from 113, I wasn't here.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Is that for both?
Yes.
Any changes, corrections, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes approved. Approval of various licenses, JRP Properties, Class B. Mr. Jackson, what's JRP Properties?
Bear with me just a moment. JRP Properties is Mr. Palmer. Staff is gonna recommend, approval of the license that has been duly noticed in the newspaper, with a contingency, and the contingency is the license be issued by the village clerk with, contingent upon receiving an occupancy permit for the premise.
So I understand this correctly, this is so we can speed up his approval once his occupancy.
It gets the village board's review and approval process completed.
So we have to
it
have a
doesn't-
special meeting.
No, it doesn't give him the license, it's merely directing the clerk to issue a license contingent upon him having an occupancy permit.
So this is saving us from having a special meeting
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve
I'll second.
with the contingencies
as written.
as stated.
Mhm.
Okay, we got a motion second. Contingencies or occupancy permit, state compliance, or what's the, what was
Say
it?
that one more time?
Occupancy permit and,
Just, but no, not the contingency is upon issuance of the occupancy permit by the building inspector.
okay, that's what it,
Yes.
But they will have liquor license in hand, so they can open their accounts, they can start doing all of their,
He will not be able to get an alcohol license until the contingency is there, so this step merely removes him having to come back and do a special meeting. We can't issue it conditionally, we're issuing it contingently, two different things. So he doesn't have an occupancy permit for the premise, even to be able to stock material inside of it right now. So he can take what we're giving him tonight, and he can go to his vendors, set up his accounts, do what he needs to, but he will not legally have a license until such a time that he has an occupancy permit for the premise. But the board is approving it tonight via your action, so that when he does get that occupancy permit, there's no delay. He can hit the ground and go.
okay, can I, further discussion on this? Could we issue a liquor license so he can start opening all these accounts with the condition of, I mean, right now, John and Rebecca are handcuffed for doing anything with, you know, talking to vendors, opening.
Yeah,
If we could somehow issue the liquor license where he can start doing that and getting that process so it doesn't tie him up even further once he gets his occupancy permit,
Yes, sir.
and they're ready to open, you know, 24 hours after that.
Will you bear with me one moment? Chapter 125, we issue an alcohol license on condition, I think he has complete recourse to be able to come back and say, hey, I've got an alcohol license for the premise, I should be able to serve alcohol today without an occupancy permit, am I correct in that?
Yeah, you're right.
So if you issue it, he has a legal right to be able to serve alcohol in 5 minutes. Right, there's nothing legally stopping him from saying, hey, I'm gonna go serve alcohol on the property right now. So that can be outdoors, outside of the premises where he's indicated that.
Well, there would be something that, I mean, we could issue, at that point, if he did that, we would have the ability to go back and say, hey, look, you know, you're operating not within,
I'm not saying there aren't good reasons that he wouldn't go do that. I'm saying that it creates a legal issue for you to do that. So we're now chasing it, having to play cleanup. So I'll give you an example of that. Mr. Palmer and Rebecca have asked about doing, temporary occupancy on the premises prior to completion of the property. They've asked about doing special events on the property. So there's really nothing stopping them from coming in tomorrow morning and saying, hey, we wanna do a special event and host alcohol sales outside the property before they ever complete the property. And Rachel would have no choice but to say, yeah, when you meet the conditions, the board issued a license. So, you know, every Saturday from now until forever, I'm looking at Todd Donato's head, like that's how this works in Wisconsin. So your barrier is right now tonight to say, hey, we're not issuing it conditionally, we're issuing it contingently, those being two different things.
So the only reason we're going through this process then is not to have a special meeting.
It's to speed the process up. So how we would have to do this is he would get his occupancy permit, and then Rachel would have to notice it in the newspaper, and that takes time. And then we've gotta bring you guys for a meeting, and that takes time. So by doing this tonight, it's like saying, hey, we're gonna take all that time that potentially he would be delayed by bureaucracy process. We're eliminating all of that, and on the day that he has his occupancy permit, he's up and running as fast as his vendors can get him supply.
Okay.
Sorry, Troy.
Okay, that was the motion, a second. Understood. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.